terrible question. It was a rubbish question. I just sort of said, oh, why is it so important for you to come here? Big journalism here. And he looked at me and said, oh, well, just go and ask those people over there. And I probably inside thought, hang on a minute, leave this one. And I said, well, is that why it's so important for you to come here? And then he turned around and just said, Rhiannon, don't behave like that.
And I don't know where it all stops, all this. Where does it end? We've got the book, and then we've got the interview circuit, and so it goes on. It's all apparently a dark plot by Britain and the royals to smear the poor, defenceless, vulnerable Sussexes.
Oh, honey, Prince Harry really thought Hollywood would roll out the red carpet. But what he got? A major cold slap of reality. No bows, no special treatment, no HRH whispers, just the brutal truth. In this town, your title means nothing. Your tantrum, though? Oh, that gets noticed?
That Prince Harry surely is now a traitor to the country that he once served.
William and I both saw what happened in our dad's office.
So picture this. Harry struts into the Dorian TV Awards expecting his grand entrance. Slow-mo camera flashes, whispers floating through the air. His Royal Highness has arrived. Girl, stop. What he got instead? Nothing more than background noise. Just another guest in a sea of stars. No trumpets, no gasps, just meh.
Where does it end? How much damage do they want to cause? They can't be allowed back to any royal events because they'll probably be wired up and taped for the next series of their...
And get this, the drama didn't start on the carpet. Oh no, it started days before with a little email, and not just any email. We're talking full royal attitude, darling. His team sent it to the event organizers like it was coming straight from Buckingham Palace itself. Not about food or seating. Oh no, this was about one thing, that royal title.
They can't be allowed back to any royal events because they'll probably be wired up and taped for the next series of their thrilling life story. So what do? What does King Charles do about his own son? Does he cut him off? Does he strip him of his titles? This is his son.
Sources say the wording wasn't just firm, it was practically barking orders. Harry, through his PR machine, wanted to be introduced as His Royal Highness Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Pause, the same title he gave up in 2020 during the whole Megxit blow-up. Like, sir, what?
It's a Shakespearean tragedy unfurling. And I'm afraid when it comes to health, I think Prince Harry might be beyond it.
And yet, he still thought he deserved it. One insider straight up called the email delusional, said it read more like a royal command than anything remotely normal for a Hollywood gig. Like, who does he think he is?
He's been manipulated, and I think partly it's down to him as well, into believing they're genuine freedom fighters.
But the Dorian committee? Oh, they didn't flinch. Respectful, sure, but firm. The best they'd offer was Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. And even that was being generous. In entertainment, royal titles are tricky business. Too much drama, too little relevance.
Institutional gaslighting that happens is extraordinary. And that's why...
What should have been a quick formality turned into a full-blown standoff. Emails back and forth. At one point, Harry's team even implied that if his full title wasn't used, it'd be seen as a disrespect. What? That's when it hit the organizers. This wasn't just about a name. They were dealing with a royal-sized ego.
It is extraordinary. And that's why everything that's happened to us was always going to happen to us. Because if you speak truth to power, that's how they respond.
The big night arrives. It's classic Hollywood glamour. Champagne flowing, gowns glittering, power players whispering sweet deals over shrimp cocktails. But the moment Harry walks in, that buzzing vibe, it shifts. And not in a good way.
Truth to power? What are you talking about? You're Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, once third in line to the throne. It doesn't get a lot more powerful than you.
And here's the kicker. He came alone. No Meghan, no entourage, no one to hype him up. Just Harry, in a tuxedo, looking like he wandered into the wrong party. The crowd? They noticed. Not with admiration. More like, wait, is he really here? The whispers were loud. Where's Meghan? Did he seriously demand they call him His Royal Highness? Oof.
Before you decamped for your freedom, before you gave up any royal duty, but wanted to have your royal cake and eat it by keeping your titles so you could exploit them.
Observers caught every detail. His stiff posture, that fake smile stretched just a little too far, eyes darting across the room. He wasn't owning the space. He was begging for validation. Looking around, desperate for that royal reverence he thought was due. Spoiler, it never came.
And make gazillions of dollars in America to the highest bidder. And what do you do for that money? You trash your family endlessly. And you're going to keep doing it, as does your wife, who trashes her own family.
Because this isn't Windsor Castle, baby. This is West Hollywood. Here you don't inherit fame, you earn it. And tonight, Harry was just another awkward dude in the room. People weren't impressed. They were just waiting for the next celebrity to arrive.
And you're going to keep doing it, as does your wife, who trashes her own family, most of whom she's disowned. Is this what happiness looks like, Harry? Really? You're happy?
And then came the moment. The host, charming, polished, takes the stage. The crowd quiets. It's time. Harry sits up, ready for his royal moment. But what does the host say? Just this. Please welcome Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. That's it. No His Royal Highness. No royal sparkle. Just facts. Period. The applause? Lukewarm. Civil. Barely polite. And Harry? Oh, he froze. Smile gone. Just gone. Jaw clenched. Eyes locked. It was like you could see his soul leave his body. Poor guy didn't even blink. For 5 full seconds, he just sat there, not moving, not reacting. People started whispering, is he okay? Why isn't he standing? Phones came out. TikToks were already being filmed. And then, boom, he stood up. Not to accept anything, oh no. He stood to leave. No wave, no nod to the host, no glance back. Just this icy, calculated walkout. Shoulders tight, back straight, eyes forward. He ghosted the whole room. And in doing so, he gave the performance of the night without saying a single word. A room full of actors. And Harry walked out like he was the most dramatic of them all. So picture it. Harry storms out. The doors haven't even swung shut yet, and the internet already on fire. Within minutes, clips of his icy, awkward exit flood TikTok, X, Instagram. And the memes? Ruthless, savage, scorching. Social media doesn't miss. And when royalty stumbles, it pounces. One tweet steals the show. Hollywood doesn't do crowns, it does credits. Boom. Thousands of retweets, hearts, reposts. Just like that, Harry went from People's Prince to, well, Hollywood's punchline. And while everyone's dragging him online, guess what people inside the room were doing? Whispering, like mad. You could feel the temperature drop. 1 second they were sipping bubbly and chatting Netflix deals. The next, necks craning, eyes wide, conversations turning to one thing only. What just happened? Some guests froze. Others tried to keep the party vibe alive. Laughing too hard, talking too loud. You know the fake it till you make it crowd. But let's be real, everyone noticed that exit wasn't quiet. It was the loudest silent tantrum West Hollywood had ever seen. One A-lister, tipsy and definitely not whispering, raised their glass and said it out loud. Looks like the Dorian did what Buckingham couldn't. They told him no. That table? Lost it. Laughing so hard it echoed across the ballroom. But across the room, some producers weren't laughing. Oh no, their eyes? Panic mode, PR nightmare unfolding in real time, and then there was the elephant not in the room. Where was Meghan? Her absence? Deafening. No glam entrance, no last-minute rescue act, no, let me fix this. She was nowhere, not even a whisper of her. For a couple who built their brand on showing up together, her silence was loud, like really loud. Sources claim her team later said she had prior engagements. But come on, this wasn't some random pop-up mixer. This was a high-profile TV industry event. Visibility, influence, relevancy central. For Meghan to skip that? People started wondering, did she know something like this would happen? Was she pulling away from the fallout before it even dropped? Backstage, show organizers were scrambling. The host, still going like nothing happened. Bless them. But the staff, whispering behind curtains, checking phones, calling damage control, but it was already too late. Guests were texting their agents, stylists, and publicists before dessert was served. And honey, Hollywood doesn't keep secrets long. By the end of the night, one thing was crystal clear. Harry wasn't the big name anymore. He was the cautionary tale, the example, the gossip, and people were choosing sides. One streaming exec reportedly paused a Sussex-related docuseries indefinitely. Another insider from a major talent agency spilled, you can work with divas or you can work with dukes. If they're both in one suit, it's a hard no. Oof, brutal. 1 minute, Harry was the prince who stepped away from the crown for love, justice, and freedom. Now, he's the guy who walked out of a room because he didn't get to be called His Royal Highness. Let that sink in, and just when you thought the drama peaked, there's more. Industry insiders say Meghan's been working overtime to distance herself from the entire mess. Crisis PR mode activated. Whispered plans of solo branding, separate appearances, rebranding strategies. It's like even she knows this Hollywood meltdown needs a serious cleanup, and people were watching closely. Because Meghan missing the Dorian Awards wasn't just a scheduling conflict, it was a statement. This was a power move, or maybe a retreat. Either way, it screamed, "This is your mess, Harry, clean it up." Meanwhile, the press, having a field day, tabloids, blogs, even traditional outlets were all over it. The headlines were savage. Harry's Title Tantrum Rocks Awards Gala. Prince or punchline? How to lose a room in 10 seconds. It was relentless. And fair? Maybe not. But that's Hollywood, darling. Perception is reality. People inside the industry started talking openly. Executives who once welcomed the Sussexes with open arms were suddenly silent, or worse, skeptical. One producer at a top studio whispered, "He's not a mystery anymore. He's a liability." Ouch. And when it comes to reputation in Hollywood, that's game over. Because no one gambles with unstable branding. Not when billions are at stake. You can be controversial, you can even be difficult, but predictable drama, that's a deal breaker. And then there's the irony of it all. The couple who demanded privacy keeps making headlines. The pair who ran from the monarchy's pressure, now demanding respect on cue. The man who condemned the royal system, begging to keep its labels alive in a town that couldn't care less about crowns. It's like the whole thing circled back. Full irony, full exposure, no filter. One veteran publicist put it best, "You can't run from the palace and try to play Prince in Hollywood. You're either out or you're in, but you can't have both." Exactly. And while all this is playing out, another question grew louder. What happened to Harry's message? Wasn't this the same man who spoke about mental health, purpose, healing, and breaking generational trauma? Where was that Harry? The one people rooted for? Instead, the Harry who showed up at the Dorian Awards looked like someone desperate for prestige, not progress, not evolution. Just a seat at a table where he no longer fit. And the whispers about Meghan not dying down. Sources say there was tension behind the scenes even before the event. Disagreements, differences in direction, maybe even cracks in the brand. Whatever the case, Hollywood noticed, everyone noticed, because in this industry, silence from a partner speaks louder than any press release. And remember, this isn't just gossip, it's business. One talent agency reportedly blacklisted future collaboration ideas. Quietly, of course, but the message was clear. If Harry keeps walking into rooms expecting a crown, he's walking out alone. A-list actors have egos, studio execs have money, and no one wants to babysit someone else's identity crisis. And Meghan? Insiders say she's all about forward motion now, focused on solo content, brand partnerships, children's ventures, the kind of things you can't do if your partner's throwing silent tantrums over titles. It's not just embarrassing anymore, it's bad business. And let's be brutally honest here. The people, they've changed their tune. Public support is fragile. One minute you're the underdog, the next, you're just doing the most. The very same media Harry and Meghan condemned, they're back in those headlines, not as victims, but as participants in the very circus they ran from. And for the public watching all this unfold, the spell is breaking. Even polls don't lie. The shine is fading. People aren't mad anymore. They're tired. Tired of the contradictions. Tired of the drama. Tired of wondering if this is all a PR stunt gone wrong or a royal reality show with no off switch. So here we are, Prince Harry, once beloved now, at a crossroads. Not just with the royal family, but with Hollywood, the public, maybe even his partner. Does he reinvent, or does he fall into the same old patterns? Because this world, it moves fast. And once the spotlight's off, it rarely swings back. You don't get many second chances in a town built on first impressions. So what's next? A rebrand, a redemptive docuseries, a royal retreat to private life? Whatever it is, it better be real, because Hollywood might love a comeback, but it doesn't wait for one.